Hi friends, I've been trying to do this video and it hasn't been working out this morning, but I promised you I'd get a video out a week, so that's what I'm doing. And this one's just gonna be like a reading, and I might have something to say in between, but I'll try not to digress too much, although I do like doing that sometimes. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to be reading from the NASB as I usually do. All right. Okay, move my camera a little bit and get this situated. There we go. How's it going? I won't divulge too much about personal things. But thanks for coming. I really do appreciate my YouTube friends, and I wish we were closer or at least had time to go visit each other. It would be so awesome, wouldn't it? But if you're ever in the Indiana area / Chicago area, let me know. I would definitely like to meet up. It's hard talking to people, you know, nowadays, Christians or otherwise. I don't know, it's hard to, they don't change their thinking according to what we see around us or what's thrown in our faces, I should say, because what we see is not really what's out there. What we're shown is not really what's out there. So, you know, it's hard to talk to people, but I'm glad for you. Anyway, so we're going to go on to Isaiah 7 and 8. I was going to try to do 3 chapters or 4, but it's going to be way too long, so we might as well just get through it. In the NASB, it has the title of War Against Jerusalem, and in my Names of Yah Bible, it says the virgin will have a child. So I've heard debates, not so recently, but I've heard some debate that this was not a prophetic chapter. And for those who grew up in the church, it is seen as that. And I guess I should preface this, anything I question here, I'm questioning not in a spirit of doubt or refusal or denial of the truth of the Bible or, you know, anybody here or going forward that might think that, you know, we can talk otherwise if you want to. I don't subscribe to a lot of what I've been taught throughout my life anyways, and that's a big turning point. And we always have to be open to different things, not open to all things, but open to the whole story, the whole picture, because what we're given is this, and then there's, you know, how much else that they don't tell us, they evil, or they're telling us this and they block out the rest, or they block out this part. There's no thinking outside the box, and I hate that. I want to think outside the box because in my heart and in my spirit, I know there's more. Things don't make sense if you sit and think about it. That the way we've been told is the way it is. It's just not. And I know enough of us in this truther community know that. So whenever I'm questioning things, such as, is chapter 7 a prophetic chapter about Messiah? Okay, that's what I've been taught, but let's make sure. Are we going to figure it all out in a half an hour reading it? No. So I don't want you to expect that from me either, especially I have a migraine today, so definitely not doing any deep thought. So let's just read and just go with what we know, and then maybe pick apart something along the way. Okay? All right. Now it came about in the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, that Rezin the king of Aram and Pekah the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, went up to Jerusalem to wage war against it, but could not conquer it. So there is the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. When it was reported to the house of David, that's Judah, saying, the Arameans have taken a stand by Ephraim, his heart and the heart of his people shook as the trees of the forest shake from the wind. So pretty intense. They're thinking about losing their lives here. Then Yahuwah said to Isaiah, and it's interesting, these prophets are consistently in the forefront of these wars, these political battles, these governmental disputes. Okay. Yahuwah said, go out now to meet Ahaz, you and your son Shear-Jashub, at the end of the conduit of the upper pool on the road to the fuller's field, and say to him, take care and be calm and have no fear, and do not be faint-hearted because of these two stumps of smoldering logs, on account of the fierce anger of Rezin and Aram, and the son of, Aram and the son of Remaliah. Okay. Sorry about the pause there. Just a little mud flood aside. I told you the migraine. It's interesting that a lot of these biblical Old Testament places have pools, and I just wonder what they really looked like. I can imagine, but kind of an interesting point there to make. And they usually made big decisions at these places. So, okay, he's told not to fear. This is what Isaiah is to say to the king of Judah. And just a side note, I read that Isaiah's son's name means, excuse me for all my fumbling of words. His name means, as I scroll, and now I can't find it, of course, something about a remnant saved, okay? Well, that's what it says. I can't find it right now, but a remnant saved. That's what his son's name means, Shear-Jashub. A remnant shall return. Okay. Okay, because Aram with Ephraim and the son of Remaliah has planned evil against you, saying, let's go up against Judah and terrorize it and take it for ourselves by assault and set up the son of Tabeel as king in the midst of it. This is what Yahuwah says, it shall not stand, nor shall it come to pass. So whatever man says in his heart, it is not always. Yahuwah says it has the final say. For the head of Aram is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin. Now within another 65 years, Ephraim will be broken to pieces, so that it is no longer a people. And the head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is the son of Remaliah. If you will not believe, you certainly shall not last, or they will not endure this battle, it says. So, again, here we go with names of places that we're not sure really where they are. Damascus, Ephraim as a whole, Samaria, it's a very well-known area that we've been taught about, but not really knowing where they are. All right, the child Emmanuel starts with chapter 10. And Yahuwah spoke again to Ahaz, saying, ask for a sign for yourself from Yahuwah, your El, make it deep as Sheol or as high as heaven. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, nor will I put Yahuwah to the test. Then he said, listen now, house of David. Is it too trivial a thing for you to try the patience of men, that you will try the patience of my El as well? Therefore, Yahuwah himself will give you a sign. So I would assume Yahuwah is seeing Ahaz's doubt in the words spoken by Isaiah. Behold, the virgin will conceive and give birth to a son. So a young unmarried woman, that's what that means. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son. She will call his name Emmanuel, which means Yah with us. He will eat curds and honey at the time he knows enough to refuse evil and choose good. For before the boy knows enough to refuse evil and choose good, the land with whose 2 kings you dread will be abandoned. Now, I do have this to say. Don't you question, I do question that part being about the Messiah, Yeshua, or Yahusha, whatever you'd like to say. It's not Jesus. It doesn't say anything. Is this giving us a little bit more of, oh, he ate curds and honey? Or is it, what does that have to do with anything? Maybe that's what they fed their children. Just a side note, I wasn't quite sure that was particularly about Messiah. But this sounds in context just for this king's reassurance, because it's specifically talking about before this child grows up, the 2 kings mentioned above will not be in power anymore. Verse 17, Yahuwah will bring on you, on your people, and on your father's house, such days as have not come since the day that Ephraim separated from Judah, the days of the king of Assyria. On that day, Yahuwah will whistle for the fly that is in the remotest part of the canals of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. They will all come and settle on the steep ravines, on the ledges and the cliffs, on all thorn bushes, and on all the watering places. So this is pretty scary sounding. Insects all over the place. Reminds us of Exodus. On that day, Yahuwah will shave with a razor hired from regions beyond the Euphrates River, that is, with the king of Assyria. So with the king, using the king, the head and the hair of the legs, and it will be removed, and will remove the beard. Now on that day, a person may keep alive only a heifer and a pair of sheep, and because of the abundance of the milk produced, he will eat curds, for everyone who is left within the land will eat curds and honey. Now that makes sense with the prophecy of the child being born and what he will be eating. He will be eating that because this will happen. So it's kind of going forward and then going back. And it will come about on that day that every place where there used to be thousands of vines, valued at 1,000 shekels of silver, will become briars and thorns. People will come there with bows and arrows, because all the land will be briars and thorns. As for all the hills which used to be cultivated with the plow, you will not go there for fear of briars and thorns, but they have become a place for the pasturing oxen and for the sheep to trample. So again, more places that were bountiful and flourishing have become desolate. And again, I still think of how these events have taken place, and they were significant, but in the history we're given, they're not significant. But this seems very, this seems more important than we're taught about, even in the church, even though we take biblical history and talk about it. I think it's more significant to us than we're told. Okay, so Damascus and Samaria fall. This is chapter 8. Then Yahuwah said to me, take for yourself a large tablet and write on it in ordinary letters. Here I go, I gotta pronounce this. Maher Shalal Hash Baz. And it does have a footnote, so let's see. Swift to plunder. Swift is the plunder, speedy is the prey. So Desolation comes quickly. And I take to myself faithful witnesses for testimony, Uriah the priest and Zechariah the son of Jeberechiah. Zechariah is in the Bible, also another prophet. So I approached the prophetess, and she conceived and gave birth to a son. Then Yahuwah said to me, so that's his wife. Isaiah is talking about his wife. Name him Mahar-Shalal-Hash-Baz, for before the boy knows how to cry out, my father, my mother, the wealth of Damascus and the spoils of Samaria will be carried away from before the king of Assyria. Again, Yahuwah spoke to me further. Inasmuch as these people have rejected the gently flowing waters of Shiloah, and rejoice in Rezin and the son of Remaliah, now therefore, behold, Yahuwah is about to bring on them the strong and abundant waters of the Euphrates River. That is the king of Assyria and all his glory. So as twice now mentioned, the Euphrates River is truly talking about the king of Assyria. And it will rise over all its channels and go over all its banks. But it's also giving a double meaning. I think it means truly that the waters go over. I'm not quite sure. Let's keep going. Then it will sweep on into Judah. It will overflow and pass through, and it will reach as far as the neck and spread of its wings and will fill the expanse of your land, Emmanuel. So it's changing who it's speaking to. A believing remnant, which is what Isaiah's first son that he brought with him, that was the sign that the remnant would be returned. So that's why Yahuwah wanted Isaiah to bring that son whose name meant that, to show that part of the prophecy for this king. Okay. Be broken, you peoples, and be shattered, and listen, all remote places of the earth. Get ready, yet be shattered. Get ready, yet be shattered. Devise a plan, but it will fail. State a proposal, but it will not stand, for Yah is with us. For Yahuwah spoke to me with mighty power and instructed me not to walk in the way of this people, saying, you are not to say it is a conspiracy, regarding everything that is this people call a conspiracy. You are not to fear what they fear, or be in dread of it. It is the Yahuwah Sabaoth, whom you are to regard as holy, and he shall be your fear, and he shall be your dread. But to both houses of Israel he will be a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. That one also is noted as a reference to Yeshua. Of course, it doesn't say that, though. It says Yahuwah Sabaoth is to be that. So just a little question mark there for me. And a snare and a trap for the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Many will stumble over them. Then they will fall and be broken. They will be snared and caught. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. That's the Torah. And I will wait for Yahuwah, who is hiding his face from the house of Jacob. I will eagerly wait for him. Behold, I and the children whom Yahuwah has given me are for signs and wonders in Israel from Yahuwah Sabaoth, the Lord of the armies of heaven, who dwells on Mount Zion. When they say to you, consult the mediums and the spiritists who whisper and mutter, should a people not consult their Yah? Should they consult the dead in behalf of the living? To the law and to the testimony, if they do not speak in accordance with this word, it is because they have no dawn. They will pass through the land dejected and hungry. And it will turn out that when they are hungry, they will become enraged and curse their king and their Yah as they face upward. Then they will look to the earth and behold distress and darkness, the gloom of anguish, and they will be driven away into darkness. Okay. So that's actually it. This is going to be a shorter reading than usual, but that's okay. I think, sorry, my wheels started turning mid-chapter 8, and so this prophecy obviously was very relevant for this people and this king at the time, and it kind of just like snowballed forward with the river overflowing with those gnats and bugs being everywhere. So the vineyards turning into briars and places to be trampled on. That was interesting to me. It is interesting too, this conspiracy part. And let me see what it says in this Bible also. It's also conspiracy. Let's go to New King James. I'm just curious to see if conspiracy is that same word. Bible Gateway has a lot of different translations, so it's interesting kind of to compare. So chapter 8, verse 12. Conspiracy. Do not say a conspiracy concerning all that this people call a conspiracy, nor be afraid of their threats, nor be troubled. Yahuwah Sabaoth, him who you shall hallow, let him be your fear, let him be your dread. He will be as a sanctuary. So a place of safety. It's interesting that word comes up, and that can apply to us also. We can say, you can go to the Orthodox Jewish Bible too, that we don't have to look at the world in our realm as others do. And we are in a time of spells, but we're also in a time of spell breaking. And spells have been breaking. Many people have been questioning things. And I don't know if it was so much more in that time as in this time or not. A lot of it depends on where we really are, which I'm not going to get into that here. But it seems so robotic nowadays. Call ye not Kesher conspiracy, all that this people calls Kesher. So I'll have to look that up, I guess, later. That was from the Orthodox Jewish Bible. But yeah, it's interesting. There came desolation, and then there came the cry from Yah himself to not go in the ways, as he always said in the Old Testament, in the ways of those who go to soothsayers. And I think they back then knew what they were doing, and I don't think anyone has a clue now of who really is the soothsayers or the familiar spirits. It's so strange the way no one has any idea what is what. There is no discernment anymore. It's a total blanket deception. So it's really interesting. I'm going to move this down a little bit. To think that it's hidden now, and some people believe it's breaking wide open right now and they're not hiding anything. But I kind of disagree. As much as people are coming to the truth and discerning now, it's not like the majority. We're still like a remnant. So it could go either way. Like I said, I'm never, dead set on any view. It's just what we can take from it. But I definitely see Scripture intersecting into our lives, and it makes sense. Or is this just the way it has been going? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to say much else. I don't want to confuse anybody. I don't want to confuse myself. But thanks for joining, and leave your thoughts in the comments. And we'll just catch up next time. Blessings.